Welcome to Stage Mom Podcast, a podcast for breakthrough bands and artists. Today we have The Creature Cage. The Creature Cage is a psychedelic punk progressive rock band out of South Florida. I was so excited to get to know Joshua and learn more about his band. This was a band I had seen years ago and never had the opportunity to speak to. I was happily surprised at how humble and nice Joshua was, and also excited to hear about everything that The Creature Cage has in the works for this year. It's going to be a great year for them and for all of us fans. Can't wait. Awesome. Okay, so we have Creature Cage here, and I just want him to introduce himself, tell us a little bit about the band, what you do, how long you've been around, where you're from.
Yeah, so my name is Joshua. Creature Cage has been around, it kind of started in 2017, technically, but that was at one time me and a buddy of mine, Danny, just recording a bunch of songs in my room, and then over time, 2018 to 2019, we started playing shows, and then just like saving COVID and everything, you know, we've just been recording more, doing more shows. The lineup's always changing. It's always, but you know, ever since then, it's been a good time. Just lots of noisy, exciting stuff.
Yeah. And are you from Pembroke Pines or?
I'm from Coral Springs.
Oh, okay, so you're north.
I'm north. Everyone else lives in Miami.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, some of the guys are like Kendall-ish. Like, we're all over the place.
Holy cow.
So it's kind of always a little production to rehearse.
Right,
but
yeah.
we always get it done. You know?
Right. And so you guys are all, how long of the current Creature Cage, how long have you all been playing together? Because I know that you've had a couple different members and whatnot.
Well, there's Tristan and Nat who have been with it for, I want to say since like mid 2019, like right in the middle of 2019, they joined on. And then my current drummer, Anthony, whose last name is Capo, so we call him Capo. Him and my bassist, Will, who's one of my best friends too, even before that, they both joined in like February of 2020.
Okay.
Which was funny because then we started to rehearse and we're like, all right, we're ready to go. Then everything just got shut down.
Yeah.
But I think because of that, the lineup kind of solidified a bit more because we were like, I was expecting people to drop off throughout all this, but no one has. So I was like,
yeah.
You know.
No, because I think everybody wants to see live bands. So that's like, and I've actually interviewed a couple people from other locations like California, New Jersey, and it's honestly sounds like South Florida has the best. Yeah, that reminds me. Let me turn that down. The best local scene as far as people wanting to see live bands and everything like that. So anyhow, so Creature Cage, how did you guys get your band name? What's the meaning behind that?
There's I was sitting when I was still in college. I was sitting in the BC Broward College library, and I was drawing, and I drew like a little, just like a creature thing in the shape of a box, and I was like, Creature Cage. That's literally it. Like, there's no other.
So you're the original former of Creature Cage.
Yeah.
You're the beginning.
Yeah. I mean, technically, it was me, and out of me, I had like a band in high school.
Right.
Like, because at that time, that was 2017. I was like 1 year out of high school. I was kind of just not sure, like, because I'd been doing music. I had a band in high school that broke up, and I was like, man, I don't know what to do. Like, I need something. You know, the whole division between that band, as tiny and petty as it was me. I was like, I want to start doing crazier stuff. I don't want to just do, you know, whatever. I wanted to really kind of push ourselves as musicians. And then, it just made more sense to kind of go for something more aggressive,
right? At
least in that moment. But then the initial lineup was me and my old buddy Daniel Giraldo, who's a great guitarist still. He goes to in college. He started doing like classical music, so he went on his own thing. But then after that, it just made more sense to kind of have a little bit of a revolving door, have people coming in and out, different collaborators. But I kind of run all our stuff. So
nice. Okay. Did you go to school for music? Is that what you did?
I was there for a little bit. Doing audio engineering.
Okay.
But then just like full-time work, and then just figuring out other stuff. I wasn't really. I was so over school to begin with. Even when I first started going to school, I was like, I'm really over this. Yeah. And at a certain point, I just dropped off, and I was like, I'll just devote more time to Creature Cage than anything at work. So
yeah, if that's where your passion's at, then it would have been a waste of time going to school anyhow.
Yeah, it is what it is. You know, for some people it works. Some people have the balance. For me, I was just
didn't work for me.
It's the whole thing.
Okay, so if nobody ever heard of Creature Cage, how would you describe your music?
Usually when people ask us about us, I tell them, psychedelic, punk, progressive rock, kind of angry, but still really melodic at times too. But mainly most of the things that people throw at us are like psych, prog, and then punk, alternative rock, and that all those kind of umbrellas we kind of will usually sit under. But sometimes we get into other kinds of genres, just do whatever we think sounds good.
Right. It was so many different people, like coming in and the revolving door, I'm sure they bring a lot of their own ideas, which could change the sound a little bit too. Yeah, so. Yeah,
everyone's coming with their own angle too. I mean, I'm usually initially writing like the basic framework of the compositions and stuff, but we're all throwing our own little things in there. To kind of spice things up,
So I was going to ask that. Like the process of your writing, because you got a lot of stuff out there.
Yeah. So I mean, everything so far, like the Cyclops stuff was me and Danny, and then everything else since then has just been me.
Right.
And it kind of depends. I mean, no song is written the same way. A lot of times, lately, at least, a lot of the new stuff that we've been working on has been like initially bass lines. And then from there, I'll flesh it out into like chords and stuff and like an initial riff. But a lot of times it's just, just mess around with something, you got a riff.
Right.
And you just kind of push it until it becomes an actual song, figure out every way that it can flow. A lot of it's, listening to other songs and figuring out how, breaking them down and, knowing what makes those songs tick. So it's all a process. None of them are ever the same.
Right. Do you guys produce your own stuff?
Yeah, I mix all of our stuff.
Nice.
Well, I mix all of our stuff. I engineer all of our stuff. Well, no, I mean, the drums that we did on our last record, that was over at my buddy Alon's house, who was in a Moongazer. He's got a great little space he calls Shamal Studios now, so we recorded a few things there, but mainly besides that, it's all just stuff in our rooms, in our bedroom, miking stuff up. Just going straight inside Logic, just everything in the box,
Yeah. So, like, that's interesting. This is something that I've talked to other people about with the whole doing your everything in the bedroom thing. It's so different than it was when I was growing up. Like, it was unheard of to do that. So then, back in the day, you'd focus on selling your albums, and then you would make a little bit of money, but it's really the tours that they would make the money on.
Yeah.
And now with the streaming, like, how do you feel? Is it better this way? What do you think in your own opinion?
I don't know. I mean, it's tricky to say because I don't have as much context as to how music was made back then besides reading things and, stuff. I mean, we definitely make all of our money from shows.
Yeah.
I mean, from like Spotify, we don't, it's really not even comparable.
Yeah.
All of our money's from shows and merch, which is great. I mean, I love playing shows. I love that. But it's just the reality is, like making records and stuff. It's great, but that's not going to be where you're. It's great for people for the turnaround when someone leaves the show and then they can go listen to all your stuff, and then that's sick. But so it definitely is useful to have stuff up. But I don't know. Part of me, as I've gotten older too, like I've been making stuff by myself since like high school, and I kind of have realized it's honestly not that great to be able to just put something out. It is great in the sense that if you're just starting out, you could just do whatever you want, just put it out. But once you kind of get to the flow of how a song is going to respond to people once you upload it and how much traction it's going to get, how if that's the game that you're starting to play and you want the band to actually make moves, then it is like, wow, I should really promote it. Like I should really think of what my plan is going to be it's not just, oh, the song's done, time to upload it. Because that can be great if you already have a following.
Right.
But if you really want to maximize how many people are getting to you, then yeah, it's kind of like that. For me, the past like year or so, like even just the process of making one music video and having like, because before, like I would just upload our stuff whenever.
Right.
But then for the last album, I was like, well, these songs are actually pretty decent. I would like to push them a little bit. So even making the video for like the single we did, Piss Blue, and kind of pushing the album a little bit more on social media, like doing like a giveaway and stuff, I was like, wow, like this, like I should, you know, it is important, you know, even though then you end up feeling like, oh, am I selling out? Like, no, you're not fucking selling out. You know, this is, if you want this to be your job, like for me, what I always tell the guys is like, the end goal is for us to be able to put this on our taxes, for this to be our income, to have the payroll, for me to, for us to not have to work, for this to be work for us, you know, that's the goal. However long it takes to get there, if it even does, who knows, but I mean, we might as well give it a shot, you know, and in this moment, develop everything we can to make sure whatever we make, you know, hits. You know, we're not going to be like, I don't see us being like a TikTok band or anything like that either. No, that's just not us. But, you know, that doesn't mean that you can't, you know, take elements from that world and you know, incorporate them just to make sure everyone possible can hear your music.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like you said, you're definitely not the TikTok band, but it is all about opportunity, right place, right time. So just play everything that's offered to you and just get your name out there. I'll tell you, a lot of the bands that I have had here, they all know Creature Cage. And so, I mean, you're obviously doing the right thing, and they all have wonderful things to say about you. And I saw you guys years ago, like I said. Yeah. But, yeah, so what do you think is the most challenging project you've worked on to date?
Definitely this last album.
Yeah.
Definitely this last album because a lot of those songs were written before COVID. So it wasn't even challenging because, like, we knew the songs, but just, like, figuring out, like, how were you going to put it out in that case? Because we were ready to get it all done in 2020. Then just the amount of, like, the psychological uncertainty was really just, like, it just sucked. We weren't sure. I was coming out of it not knowing if, like, we were even going to be making music for how long.
Right.
So I was just sitting in my room for like 2 months, just writing some more stuff.
Yeah.
But, yeah, aside from that, I mean, it was challenging too, because it's just like, you know, this was kind of the album where I felt like we got as close as ever as to like the sound that I wanted. I wanted it to sound like in my head, you know, it's not completely there yet, but it definitely got really close to where I was like, all right, I'm really, you know, we're feeling proud of this.
Right.
It was definitely, it was very strenuous to get there. And then to have everything lock in, like all the merch and the album art and the visual aesthetic to collide in there too, you know, have that little world happen. It was definitely a lot of juggling.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, for sure. I can imagine. So how many albums do you guys have out now? You got a lot of stuff out there.
We have 2 EPs and one. The Cyclops is kind of like 30 minutes, so I think that constitutes as an album by like the standards of Billboard or whatever. But it's listed as an EP. Then we have 1 EP of stuff that I did that was kind of like the quarantine EP, which was the Oisey stuff. And then we put out Super Destruction last year, and I think we have 1 or 2 like loose songs on Spotify, and then we have another album. Oh yeah, we have our live album, live special, which has cool. We did that also. I think like November of 2020, so like still when gigs weren't like, so we were like, why don't we just do a live album? You know, we haven't really played that much, but we hadn't been playing at all that year, but it was fun to do. We did that at a Sound Artillery with John Nunez, who's really cool. But now we have a new album that is like almost, the writing's done. I have a bunch of demos that I have to have us actually record now. We're going to be recording a couple shows that we have upcoming to try to do like an actual like live album that's not just in a studio but like with an audience. Right. Because that
would be really neat.
Yeah, that would be cool. Right now, the announcement just went out, I think, for the fair, and they offered to record our stuff.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I'm going to have someone film it, and if the recording isn't, like, completely awful.
Right.
If it's not awful, then I'm going to, you know, sync it up, mix it a bit, and then put that out as something. But I have to see what happens. If not, maybe another show, like, during the summer.
Right.
Because it took us a while to get out of we took, like, a little break after just doing, like, nonstop shows for, like, pretty much until, like, May of last year until the end of it. So I just have to figure out what we're going to do. But I really want to do another one because those are fun.
Yeah.
It's a fun time to do that.
Yeah. What are your favorite kind of shows to do?
I mean, I think our best shows have been at Las Rosas.
Okay.
Definitely all of our best shows have been at Las Rosas. That's usually kind of the place where we feel the most comfortable. That's my favorite spot. I really miss Churchill's. We had a lot of good shows at Churchill's until Churchill's, like, we had one really great show in, like, January of 2020 at Churchill's. That was the Woman House release show. They were still a band. That show was great, but it was packed. And we played on the floor, and, like, it was just awesome. But yeah, I mean, I really like the shows where we can just have the most people come out, you know, like like there's been a lot of people within the last year just really fighting for the all ages stuff. We have an all ages show happening at that new spot, the warehouse across the street from the corner. People keep calling it the Corner Bar Warehouse, but I think the actual name is the Hot Box, which is kind of funny. But
it's easy to remember.
Yeah, but it's just a huge warehouse right across the street downtown in Miami that I went to a show there last week. And then we just got booked to play on the 11th.
Awesome.
So that's going to be good.
Okay.
That's our first show since last year in November. Yeah.
It's funny that you mentioned Churchill's because I've talked to a lot of bands, and I'd say half of them have all agreed that COVID started in the bathroom at Churchill's.
Oh, yeah.
That bathroom is so gross.
It's awful. Yeah, but I miss Churchill's so much. I mean, I think Churchill's was the first show I ever played in Miami, if I'm not mistaken. And that was with my high school band still. I think we played there in like 2017.
Right.
But that whole space was so good.
Yeah, it is a good space.
And now I just don't know it's just all legal bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah. No, you're right. Everybody has mentioned stuff like that too. Like, and then they started playing outside and.
Yeah, the Stagecoach with Fang. That was a good, we had to play at, we played at, this really stupid, I don't remember what the hell the name is of that pool place. It was like an actual hotel that was, for whatever reason, was booking shows. I don't remember what the hell it was called, but they were already complaining. I mean, I don't know why they booked it at night. They knew that it was going to be bands, but they still booked it at night, and then got mad that bands were playing at night.
They didn't think that through.
So
their guests were probably complaining.
Yeah, two bands. The Old Youth and Bruvy had already played, and they did great. And we played one song, and they just, like, ripped our stuff out. They're like, you guys have to get out.
Are you kidding me?
So then we're about to head out. There's a crowd of kids, too. There's, like, it's packed. And someone puts a phone in my face, and it's Fang from Stagecoach. Right. Shout out to Fang. I love Fang. And he's like, I remember vividly, he's like, I don't know, it looks like it's going to rain, but if you guys want, you can come to the lot. And I was like, what do we have to lose? We're 5 minutes away from Churchill's right now. We'll just drive over there. So we just yell, like, hey, we're going to the lot. Awesome. We drive over, and then literally everyone came.
Right.
And Fang pulled up in his little coach, and we finished it out. It was us, Mold, and Do Not Air. I think it was that night. It was
Do Not Air coming, I think, March 4th.
They're good. They're good.
Yeah.
They're good guys. I love those guys. Axel's one of my buddies.
They put on a good show, too.
Yeah. But, I missed that. I missed that spot a lot. It was good, but... You know, it is what it is.
Yeah, it is.
We lost a lot of good places over COVID.
Oh, COVID killed.
Churchill's, and then Space Mountain, and then Loser Lounge, and then all these places are gone.
Yeah,
is what it is.
Yeah, hopefully there'll be some coming back because it's a shame.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, as far as your music, what's your favorite song that you've ever released?
That's tricky. I really like. I think my favorite songs off of our new record, in terms of being like the most like Creature Cage song ever, I think it's probably the like first actual track on the album, which is Holy Terror. That's like 10 minutes long, and it's just like, it's a real jam. It goes into like the punky krautrock kind of shit. Just that's probably the most like holistic like song that I was like, okay, this is like the vision that I wanted for this band to begin with, and now this is like the closest we've gotten to something like that.
Right.
I really like the second to last song of that album is called Cosmic Sea. And I really like that because that's a song that I wrote like when I was like 17. And that has just been sitting for so long, that chord progression, and then just like turns of life events and stuff like led me back to playing that, and I just came up with the outro, and I was like, okay, these both make sense now. So it was really and a lot of people like that song. It's definitely like not like what we do at all, but it's cool. It's great to do that too, you know, to stretch our legs. You know, we don't really have to commit to any specific thing. Anything that we do, I feel like, is always going to have that touch of sounding like us, no matter where we go. And then, so those two probably. I also really like our song "Comfort Yourself," just because to me, I love that song because it just sounds like Smashing Pumpkins.
That's my all-time favorite band, Smashing Pumpkins.
I love the Pumpkins so much. I was wearing I had my Pumpkin shirt on when we played at the Black Market last year. I love that band so much.
It's funny. I was gonna wear their shirt, and then I got your shirt, and then but I threw my 30 Seconds to Mars on to wait for your shirt, and then I put your shirt on inside out. So.
But Pumpkins are that's another band. I mean, that's one of just like the fact that idea too of like they did so much. They went through so many phases. But it all still sounded like Billy Corgan.
It's absolutely, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, I love them a lot. So.
Yeah. So good. Did you go see them when they were down here? No.
I missed them. Yeah, I want to see them. I know they're doing a couple festivals this year or something. I know that's one band I have to see.
Yeah.
But now I also have to figure out, because I think Paul McCartney's coming to Hollywood. I read too, so now I have to figure out how I'm going to see that. And there's a bunch of shows I want to see this year. I'm glad that shows are happening again. Yeah,
no, it's so exciting. I remember back, like, just to see the shows, I had gotten a job. I mean, I'm a realtor by trade, but I had gotten a job selling merchandise at these shows just so I can, for Live Nation. So I would just go, I would sell the merch, and then I would be able to watch the show for free. I have seen so many free concerts just selling merch. It was so awesome.
That doesn't sound like a bad idea.
No, you're making a couple extra $100 one night. They're paying you to see the show.
Yeah, the only show I saw last year, the only like actual show I think I saw was this band, All Them Witches, which are like stoner metal jam band stuff. It's kind of like, what did I say it was? It was kind of like Allman Brothers, but if Allman Brothers did Tool.
Okay.
It's like
that's quite a combination.
Yeah, it was, but they were sick. I saw them at Culture Room, but I'm pretty sure that's the only show I saw last year that wasn't like a local show. It was just, it's been nuts. I really want to go to like a proper concert again.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. Well, I know My Chemical Romance was postponed twice. And it's now coming back. Hopefully it doesn't get postponed again, because my daughter's been waiting for 2 years.
That's another one of my favorites. I always geek out with Paula from Bruvy. I would geek out with her over all the MCR stuff because we both love them.
Yeah, it's
so
one of my
much.
daughter's favorites. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, so all right. So as far as other bands and everything, I was part of the local through my daughter, but and I see how they mix. It's like one big family. What's the best bit of advice that you ever got from another musician?
Advice? God, I'm not sure about it. That's weird, because, I don't know, I mean, I will say, and I mentioned him again before, but my old bandmate, Danny, he pushed me so hard at guitar. Like, he really, I wouldn't be playing the kind of stuff that I play now if it wasn't for him just, like, really just hammering guitar into me for the entire year that we worked together before he went to school. Besides that, I mean, I don't really ask a lot of local bands for advice necessarily. I just, you watch them and you just take things.
Yeah.
I'm writing things down in my head. Like a lot of my favorites, I mean, like Real People out the gate were the first band that like really like welcomed us. Like we played this old warehouse in Fort Lauderdale, kind of like Oakland Park, the Fuzz Baby warehouse. This dude Rob and our current manager, my buddy Sesha, she used to work there, and real people also work with her, and those are my buddies like Connor, Mike, and Sydney, and Sebastian. But out the gate, like those were one of the bands, them and like kind of like Mold, and then the band that Will was in before this, Garbage Eaters, with Alon from Moongazer. Like I would just see them live, and then I would just they would tick boxes off, like, okay, I need to do that, we need to do this, we got to do that, this is a cool technique. I see them do one thing, one sound. So I asked them about, like, hey, what's this combination of pedals you got? Like, oh, it's this and that. And then I was like, all right, so that's just how music is, you know. Like I imagine a lot of people have told me they've seen Creature Cage stuff too, and it inspired them to do certain things. Yeah. So I'm like, yeah, that's just how the cycle works. We're all helping each other out, even if it's never like, oh, can I do this and that? It's kind of just like you see them do something, it's like, all right, I'm going to internalize that because I think that was sick. Right. And obviously, it's something that we're capable of. So, yeah. Yeah.
It's funny, those warehouse shows seem to be everybody's favorites.
Oh, yeah.
They're so the intimate, and
they're the best until some like asshole just like calls the cops. Yeah. And it's over. Yep. It depends on the warehouse too, because sometimes it's like, it's not even a warehouse as opposed to like a storage unit, and those places don't have code, for people. So it kind of makes sense, but it is like, come on, yeah.
So what is it that you like most about playing music?
I don't know. It's just like, since I was a kid, like it just kind of, it always just did something for me. It makes that, those are probably the moments where I feel like the most alive. Right. Like those are. I mean, even in school, I was doing like, I started out like joining like chorus and drama and figuring that stuff out. We had our little band, and I just started to realize, like, in those moments, those were like, every time we played a good show, that would instantly be marked off as like one of the best moments of my life, basically. And like, obviously, you make this a job, and those moments start to get ticked off more and more, and some of them don't have as much significance, but still, like, there's nothing really in my existence that can really compare to playing like an amazing show and having a good crowd response, having people there that know the stuff. That's the most. We were talking about it the other day. Like you put in so much work. You print your shirts. You write your songs. You produce the stuff. You put money into it, into your gear and everything. You rehearse hard. For quite literally, like maybe like 30 minutes on a Friday. But those 30 minutes on a Friday are going to be like the most insane experience you've ever had as a human being. Because you feel, even at that stage, like playing a room like Las Rosas when it's packed on a Friday, it's like I want to do that forever. So even no matter how tough it is, no matter how crazy things get, it's like you always are going to find a way to make it happen, make it happen properly. So, that's just how it is.
No, that's a really, like, people don't think about it that way. No, it really does give you like a great feeling. Not that I've ever played an instrument, but just through my kid, like I would see how, like, they had a good show, and it would just change everything about them. It changes the way. It changes the way you respond to things. It changes the way you want to look at life, and you don't even have to be the greatest singer or anything. It's just, if you're putting on a good show, people are going to respond to that. And
that's the one thing that I kind of noticed too, is like, I'm always going to be pushing myself as a musician, as a singer, but that's not the end all be all as well. Like I'm not like one of the America's Got Talent, freaking, what's the word? Like one of those 3-year-old kids that can play, full-on symphonies.
Oh, the prodigies?
The prodigies, I got that word. I'm not one of those. Like, that's just not who I am. But I'm always going to push myself as a musician so I can put on the best show. All that really matters is if you can play your own stuff. That's all that matters. I don't need to showboat for anybody else in any other regard. As long as I can play the stuff that I'm up there that night to play, it is what it is.
But it shows through your music. Like, the guitarist from my daughter's old band, he's now the guitarist for Modern Freaks.
Nice. Okay.
And he is one of my favorite guitarists. I've known that kid since he was probably 10. Yeah. I have seen him from when he used to play the guitar, and we would beg him to move, and he would not move. And if you see this kid now, it's like, who is he? But that was such hard work and dedication. It wasn't a natural thing that he had. He had classic rock teachers, he had jazz teachers, he had even country teachers, every genre of music. they were coming into his house to teach him, and it was just dedication. But you can tell he loves what he does, and so it's like if you're loving it, people are going to feel it.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a show where like you didn't get a good response from people? That
Oh yeah. I mean, especially in the beginning when we didn't know what we were doing. You know, with booking shows. Now it's tricky because I get so picky now.
Yeah.
I'm like I'll hear like certain red flags go off when I know I'm like, oh, this show is not going to be good. I don't know if I want to do this. But like out the gate, you know, you just take whatever show you can get,
right?
And then you're playing to like 10 people, 5 people. But then like it is what it is. You know, those are the moments too that you internalize, and it's like, man, I don't want to do this again.
Right.
You know, and those things are always going to happen. Especially like we went up to Orlando, and it just sucked. It was fun. It was sick. It was great to meet. We made a lot of new friends. But as a show itself, like strictly logistically, like it didn't make sense for us to go there. But that's just, you know, we had brought friends, these really sick guys from Baton Rouge. They're called Loudness War. Okay. We brought them down, and they did a 3-night run, all in Florida. We did Respects, Las Rosas, and Orlando, and they all crashed at Will's house, and it was great. And the shows at Respects and Las Rosas made us enough money that it didn't really matter. Right. That the Orlando show sucked. So that's the thing, too. It's like sometimes at this point, we can kind of know that we can have one night that's not great. Right. But it is like the morale, at least, it's kind of like, Yeah. You know, but it's just how it is. I mean, not every show is going to be insane. That's just how it is. Yeah. You know, but... but those are definitely the things that you internalize, and it's like, all right, I need to make sure that the next ones after this are really killer. Yeah, you live and learn. Yeah, that's exactly. So what type of musician or what musician would you want to collaborate with? Oof, like living or dead, or just like in general? Yeah. I mean, to collaborate with, I'm not sure. I mean, there are definitely like the musicians that I look up to a lot. Like we were saying, like Billy Corgan, maybe like John Dwyer from the OCs, or maybe like, I don't know, who the heck is alive or dead that I don't want to collab with. I'm not even sure. And part of me, I mean, I would love to like really, if I was going to collab with people, I'd want to move into different genres almost. It'd be cool to work with somebody like making samples for like an electronic artist, or like something like someone doing hip hop, like a hip hop producer, something like that. Interesting. Because we all listen to all kinds of music too, you know. So we're not. I mean, I love so much of all kinds of music that I wouldn't, as long as my skill set could apply there. And yes, I don't even think I'd want to collaborate with someone that I see as like a hero, because then there's like a weird dynamic of like, that's a good point. Play. Yeah, I would probably be very scared. It would probably take me a minute to to warm up to that. Yeah, but I think it'd be cool to kind of take some of what we do from a different angle in that kind of area, because we're friends with a lot of like DJs and stuff, electronic artists, guys doing stuff like that down here too. So I mean, whatever sounds good at the end of the day, it just sounds good, you know. Right. So okay. What do you feel is the best decision that you made as a musician? The best decision? Honestly, I'm not sure. Maybe deciding to do it more than anything. Because there have been a lot of moments where I've been like, why am I doing this? Right. Solely as a musician, probably just almost like, I don't even want to say, like, it sounds kind of rough, but like, almost like gaslighting myself into thinking like, it's going to be worth it, which it has been worth it. But there have been many moments where I'm like, wow, was this worth it? Was it worth it? And who knows? I mean, we're definitely not at the stage yet where we're completely, you know, supplementing ourselves. You know, we're not living off of this, but it's definitely been good to be in a position now where like people know us. People specifically want to come to shows to see us, which is sick. Yeah. You know, whenever, I don't care like how, you know, if it's not a huge amount of people, but it's people nonetheless, and you know, we value that completely. So it's like, who cares? That's all that matters. Exactly. Yeah. So you said that some of the songs that you've written were from years ago. What is your songwriting process? Do you sit down to write a song? Do you carry something with you, or? Yeah, I mean, a lot of the times, for me at least, a lot of the time, sometimes riffs will come to me like during the day at like work, and then I have my little voice recorder. If something good, you know, just hum it or sing it into my mic. But aside from that, a lot of the times I'll just be practicing, you know, running through chords, running through scales, and if something sounds cool, it's like, all right, I gotta catch that, I gotta catch that, I gotta catch that, you know. And then there's just at that point, just a library of song fragments that kind of, okay, well, might sound good with this part, and this song is in this part's in this key, and this part's also in that key. You just kind of push them all together. I can't exactly. Yeah, some of them just happen like that. It's just like, all right, well, this chord progression sounds cool. Right. And then you give it like a week or two, and it's like, all right, that chord progression sounds good with this chord progression. Right. Yeah, I've never really sat down and a whole song is like, you know, come out of my being. But, you know, it's just, yeah, it's like, even like that, like sometimes I'll have things sitting from like 2-3 years ago that I'll come back and I'm like, all right, well, why don't we just do this? You know? Yeah. Like there's one song off this new record that we've been rehearsing for like 3 years that we just keep going back to it and going back to it. I'm like, should we put it on this one? And so we're still not sure. We might just put it out as like a loose single. I don't know what we're gonna do with it. But yeah, just kind of, it just all kind of comes together at some point. And then I don't even realize it till we have 40 minutes of music ready. So it works.
Yeah. Do you have like music in your family, or is it strictly just you started it?
Yeah, I mean, according to my mom, some of my older relatives did, but I have no clue. I mean, like she just caught me at like one of her friends' house, like just banging at a piano once, and she was, you know, I kind of figured, you know, that like 3 notes makes a chord. You know, I didn't know that, but you could hear how harmony works instinctually once you have music in your head. Yeah. After a while, and she, you know, after a while, you know, as I got older, I started becoming more conscious of music. I kind of, especially like, I remember the moments of like seeing smaller bands and realizing like, oh, I can do that. Right. Like, why can't I do that? You know, as like a 12-year-old and being like, oh, bands aren't just wrought out of infinity or whatever. You know, they're normal people that either are already playing an instrument or decide, you know, I have something to say and I can sing about it. Right. And it kind of all clicked. I'm like, oh, I could do that. So then I ended up begging my mom for a guitar, and she was like, how are you going to figure it out? I'm like, I don't know. We have the internet, you know.
So you taught yourself? Yeah,
I taught myself.
Wow.
I mean, it did help that, you know, when I was at school, I ended up in like drama and doing like vocal ensemble stuff. So they were teaching us like classical pieces. Not that I retained as much of I retained a lot of the theory. None of it was necessarily guitar related, but at that point, music is music. You know, you can apply everything to anything. You just have to figure out where the notes land on your specific instrument. So it kind of all worked out. I mean, I wouldn't say I practice a lot of guitar. I wouldn't say I'm like an excellent guitar player, because even live there are a lot of times where I just am messing up. But you know, that it is what it is. You know, as long as we're writing tunes.
Exactly. Having a good time.
Yeah.
So as far as the local scene, we'll go back to that. What's your favorite venue that you've performed? I saw you guys played at Revolution Live. Did you play there one time, or?
Yeah, we played at Rev once.
At 2:15 in the morning. I was like, I wouldn't have made it to that.
They had us play at 2:15, which was fine. I mean, it was cool.
But you were still playing at Revolution, so that's
I was very sleepy. Yeah. I was, honest to God, very sleepy. We did something similar when we did, we played at the Ground at like 2:15.
Oh my God.
Which was also very brutal. I don't know, a lot of these places will have you play super late. Yeah. That was for like the 3 Points thing. Yeah, Rev was crazy. I mean, I did also. There is also the, you know, you're so excited to do something because I've seen bands there, and then you're there and it's like, oh, it's just a venue. It's just a venue. Like it's sick. It's great.
Yeah. It's a huge accomplishment.
It's an actual venue. I'm happy to be able to put that down on our resume.
Exactly. It's a huge thing.
And the pictures were dope. The pictures were freaking sick, but it is just a venue. Yeah. But yeah, a lot of our best shows, like at Rosa's, Churchill's, that one at the Ground, Club Space or whatever. I'm trying to like think back and do our whole like little catalog, but definitely our best shows have been at Rosas, I would say. That's probably my favorite venue down here. They have the best sound. The energy there is great. People are just always there on a weekend. So if you're playing, even if you don't have that much of a following, people will be there just hanging out and being very intoxicated. So you can only assume they'll enjoy any kind of music if you think about it. But
so true.
Yeah, the only caveat to Rosas is the 21 plus.
Right.
So that's why, it is tricky to find a space where it's like there's going to be enough room and it's going to be huge for enough people. It's going to be huge and there's going to be enough room for everyone. It's going to be safe and the cops won't get called.
Right.
And we'll be making enough money and do whatever. It's very hard to hit all of those for a band. You always have to sacrifice stuff. But I mean, we played at a lot of places at this point. It's a good time. I mean, I loved Loser while I was still around.
Oh yeah.
I love Wyatt. I love Wyatt to death. I miss that guy. I think I'm pretty sure he moved to California or somewhere in Florida. We've played at Undergrounds a few times. Undergrounds is great, even though it gets very sweaty. And
your life is, you don't know if you're going to fall through the floor or what's going to happen with you.
That's always a fun time. It's been good. It's been good going to a few places. There are still a few places that I still need to check off of our thing. We still have never played Gramps.
Okay. I've heard that. I have never been to Gramps, but I've heard it's a great venue.
Gramps is a great venue. I've played there with Leica, which is our keyboardist Nat. That's her band, and I play bass and guitar in that. But I've hit them up, and they just have got nothing. So it is what it is. One of these days, it'll happen. But it's been good. Yeah.
Do you have any favorite local bands?
Oh yeah, a lot. If I could rattle them off. Definitely my number one or two is probably Real People, because they, aside from being friends with them, they are one of the craziest sounding bands I've ever heard in my life. That was when I first really started that they inspired me a lot to bring the energy to a show, because they're it's straight up hardcore punk, just really classic, really insane sounding. And when we started playing, I would watch how people reacted to their music, and I was like, wow, this is crazy. This is what we need to bring. You know, it was really just ferocious, insane. A lot of the bands that I already like or we're friends with, Moongazer again, Mold. I love all the guys in Mold. I love all the guys in Bruvy. I love all the guys in Headfoam. I love all the guys on the Post label, which is the Ruffins and Graves and stuff. I love Glass Orange. I love Shiva. I love the new band Smelter. They're kicking ass. It's crazy shoegaze stuff. A lot of the bigger bands that I don't know that well, but Las Nubes or Donzi, they're great. There's just a lot of really excellent. Pavlov's Bell, my boys Pavlov's Bell. Zeta. There's just a ton of insane bands that I've seen down here. I'm probably missing a few. There's just so many.
It's a good community. It's a good local scene. It really is.
And it's cool because you don't really realize it's there unless you seek it out.
Exactly. And it's funny you say that, because I interviewed a band that I asked them how they felt about the local scene, and they said, well, apparently it's pretty big and we didn't have any idea. And I was like, because they were pretty new, And
when I saw this band, Touche Amore, play at O'Malley's, which is up in Margate. I saw them play, and it must have been 2017, I think, maybe, or 2018, I don't remember. But Zeta and Gouge Away opened for them. Gouge Away, I don't know how active they still are, but they're incredible too. I don't really know them as well, but them and Zeta. And I was like, wow, these bands are incredible. Where are they from? And people were like, oh, they're from here. And I'm like, there are bands like this from here? And they're like, yeah, there's a whole scene. And I'm like, I have no clue, nothing's happening in Coral Springs of all places. So I was like, I don't know. I had no clue. I couldn't even drive till this year. I don't know. I was like, so then it was just how do I find out? You start looking through Instagram, you start figuring out where all the shows are, and then the gauntlet, the ball started rolling. I was like, wow, it just blew my mind. Yeah. That's
exactly. because I did all the bookings for my kids' band, and that's exactly how I did it. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, where is
I'm
everyone?
I'm a 46-year-old lady. What the hell am I going to do? But I think I did a pretty good job with them.
Yeah.
Because I got them some really good gigs, and they were at Revolution Live also at 15 years old. So it was like, so I was pretty proud of myself, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So do you have any crazy fans out there that...
I don't think... I mean, there are, like, a lot of people, repeat people at the shows. A few people have taken pictures with me, which I thought that was kind of weird, but I let it happen, you know, which is, you know, it's fun. I don't know who's the biggest Creature Cage fan out there. I'll call them Creature Cuties on Instagram. I have no clue. I mean, a lot of people show up. I always see people at random shows wearing our merch. Nice.
That's awesome.
That's always fun. People on stage wearing our merch. I'm like, nice. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have one. Actually, there's one of my friends. Her name is Abby. She lives in like Boston.
Okay.
She buys all of our stuff. She's very cool. I met her through like just like the online fan pages for a lot of like the new wave of psych stuff. Like, what's that? Greenway Records, Levitation Room, all of those like psych labels out in like Austin and New York, Austin, Texas. I know she buys all of her stuff, so I appreciate her. But aside from that, sometimes our band camp will show like random people buying our stuff, like, all over the world, like in Iceland or whatever. And I'm like, that's sick. Some people, I know a couple people have DM'd me and told me that they're in like Europe.
Wow.
And I'm like, I want to go there. That's
awesome.
That's one of the check marks I want to do. Like, play in Europe, because I know people love bands in Europe.
You should just plan it.
Yeah,
just plan it.
It would be sick. The only thing that I would ever be worried about is gear.
Right.
Because then you have to, because then like a lot of, from what I've read at least, like a lot of bands will just rent gear.
I was just going to say, maybe you could rent it.
They'll rent it and just do shows like that. But
or maybe find a venue that has it there that they'll let you.
They have like a significant backline that we wouldn't have to worry about too much.
Exactly.
But I mean, if I could make it happen, if we could take like 3 days, a weekend, and just go to Europe.
That would be like dream. Huh?
I wouldn't mind it.
I wouldn't mind it.
I wouldn't mind it at all. Yeah, as long as all of our stuff is accounted for, I pay for all of our stuff. There's no funny business. That'd be sick as hell.
That would be awesome. Even if you got nowhere in life, you could say, "Hey, you know what? I played." It's
honestly the goal with anything like that would just be to break even more than anything. Yeah. So I wouldn't care. I mean, it would be significant enough to be like, all right, we're going to this place, even to just play out of state right now would be sick. Yeah. You know, I'm always applying for us to play at like those festivals and stuff. And you know, nothing. We haven't really hit anything yet, but hopefully, we're gonna start a new little rollout of stuff within the next few months, because we're pretty much ready to go. We've been rehearsing. We rehearsed for the first time like a week ago, and now that we actually have shows coming up again, I'm like, hey guys, we should probably rehearse to make sure we're not like awful out of nowhere. Because we got to get the ball rolling. So I got to book us something this week.
Okay. So, all right, so I'm going to switch it up a little bit so that people can get to know you as a person, ask them really dumb questions. And
let's do it.
I call it, you can tell mom anything, because let's face it, obviously. Okay, so if you were a tree, what kind of tree would it be and why?
If I was a tree, what are those massive trees out in California? Those like
I'm a native Floridian.
I have no clue. I always just picture like thinking about like those massive trees that'll like go over like roads that have been there for like thousands of years, something like that.
Are they the oak?
Are they redwoods? Something like that. I don't know that much about trees, to be honest.
I don't either. That's my question.
My tree knowledge is lacking. But I always love things like that are just like really old and ancient, like that have been through eons of human civilization.
Right.
Like, seeing shit like that is always just the sickest thing. So whatever that is.
No, that neighborhood and plantation fig tree, like how all the trees go over the whole street. You feel like you're in another state. Yeah. You're not in Florida. All right. So what is your spirit animal?
My spirit animal? I love elephants.
Oh, so my mom loves elephants.
I've always been a big elephant proponent. I like, again, just they look like they're not of this world. They look very, like they shouldn't exist. Like they look just very wise, and old. I always loved elephants. Yeah.
Yeah. My mom thought when she was little that she could grow up to be an elephant.
I want to grow up to be an elephant.
Yeah, she really thought she could.
Pivot away from humanity. I'll be an elephant.
Okay, so if you could choose one song to come on every time you walk into the room for the rest of your life, what song would it be?
Any song to come on? That's so tricky. Part of me wants to say Tidal Wave by the OCs because of that scene in Breaking Bad that's really cool, where they all get poisoned in the pool. And that song is like that. Or part of me wants to say Here Is No Why by Smashing Pumpkins because I like that song a lot, and I feel like that would make me feel like I'm living in like a 90s teen movie every day.
Those are the best movies too.
Yeah. It'd be very grunge life.
So what year were you born in?
Born in 1998.
98.
June 5th.
Oh my God, I was already out of high school.
June 5th, 98, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
All right. What do you call them? The creature cuties?
Creature
June
cuties,
5th
yeah.
is his birthday.
Yeah.
Okay, guys?
Get me gifts,
Yes.
please.
We'll post his Venmo after.
Yeah. Just send me.
Okay, so which fictional character do you relate to most and why?
Which fictional character? Should I say? I have no clue. We were watching Wayne's World the other day. Wayne Campbell. I've been saying excellent all week. I have no clue. God, that's really tricky. I don't know. As a kid, maybe I would have wanted to be Ash Ketchum from Pokemon. I have literally no clue. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I just learned what fictional was yesterday, so I wouldn't have known how to answer the question myself.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you had to work but didn't need the money, what would you do other than
music?
Yeah.
Other than anything music related, right?
Yeah. But you didn't need the money. You just did it because that's what you loved.
I worked at a theater for a very long time. Okay. I don't know if that's necessarily
like a movie
related.
theater
no,
or
like a performance arts theater.
Wow, okay.
Like for musicals and stuff. I worked in the box office there, and I honestly loved that job so much, even though I wasn't making that much money. That was my first job out of high school. Okay. Maybe something like that. Okay. But that's kind of close to music, so I don't know if that's a little bit of a cop out. But
not necessarily, because you're not on the stage.
Yeah, that was very fun.
Yeah,
that was anything like that. Because even not being in the shows, it was fun.
Yeah,
running around, making sure everything's ready for the show. Right. Kind of like it makes you feel like you're in the Muppet Show, like how they're always like freaking running around, trying to make sure the show doesn't completely go to shit. That's how I felt, and it was fun.
Okay, alrighty. So, what life lesson did you have to learn the hard way?
What life lesson did I have to learn the hard way? Probably that no one really gives a shit. Yeah. And if you don't, if you don't give a shit, even less, you have to give a shit about yourself, because especially with music, I mean, it's so, you feel so small. And it's like, if I don't care about what I have to say, why the hell wouldn't anybody else? It's really hard to stand behind your work and be like, pay attention to this. Yeah. And it does really take, like, I know it's kind of awful to say, but it really does take like a real sizable sense of ego almost to be like, listen to this, please. This is what I made, and it's important. Right. It's like, why is it important? And most people wouldn't care, but the few people that they're like, all right, give it a shot. If it connects with them, then it's all worth it.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Definitely.
Okay. So what is your greatest weakness?
My greatest weakness, probably that I get really like, I can be very neurotic sometimes with the band. Okay. Where I'll be like, just trying to make sure everything's going to be fine, everything's working out, make sure I'm, I really have to stop myself from trying to like micromanage things with everything that we do. Probably that. Okay. Just like I can get very like in my head about, all right, everyone Yeah, the band's over. Everyone hates me now. Everyone's like, no, what are you talking about? I'm like, all right, never mind. But, you know, you get instances of that because it's like, it can get kind of overwhelming.
And you formed it, and you had a vision, so it's like, I completely understand.
Sometimes I'll be like, all right, it's over.
Right.
It's over, guys. It's like, no, it's not. It's not over. Just shut up.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, so what hobbies or interests do you have outside music?
Outside of music? Really like, at least in the past year, I've been really getting back into like clothes, like fashion and stuff. Not like super hardcore like runway stuff, but like I like a lot of like just like Instagram accounts that deal with like streetwear fashion and shit. I love that stuff a lot as in high school. And it's interesting because it took me like from like when we started this band, I felt like I had to be like that sort of rock star looking guy, you know, like boots all the time and tight pants and denim jackets. And that was like, I love that vibe too. But now, you know, after everything, I was like, well, I can kind of just do whatever I want and wear whatever I like. Yeah. Like we were at the vintage store. I got this the other day.
What vintage store do you go to?
There's this one in Coral Springs that's really cool. It's called, I'm pretty sure it's just called The Spot. It's off of Sample Road and kind of by Sample and University. And they do like sales on Sundays. So I went there and then I was like, wow, this shirt is sick. You know? So it was always thrifting and going to vintage stores.
That's why I ask, because my daughter thrifts all the time. So
if you're in Springs, I recommend that place. The Spot.
All right, The Spot. Okay. So what do you do on your spare time other than thrifting?
Aside from listening to a lot of music when I'm not working, it's a lot of YouTube. A lot of YouTube, a lot of Reddit, a lot of just reading stuff. Sometimes just hanging out with my dog.
What kind of dog do you have?
I've got a little Yorkie.
Oh, okay.
Her name is Cece, and she's really annoying.
Is she? How old is she?
She's turning 10 actually this year.
My dog just had her 12th birthday.
Yeah, and Cece has never left a puppy face.
Oh, really?
She's a brat.
That is annoying.
She is a brat. It wasn't my responsibility to raise her, and now I have to deal with her. And now it's too far along that I'm like, well, I might as well keep the dog.
You keep teaching old dog tricks.
So she's very much a brat, but I will say that she never chews on my stuff, which is very valuable. Because I've never had a cable chewed by her. So that's one thing.
Good. Yeah.
Thank God, because if not, I don't know what I would do. But yeah.
Yeah, no, my dog, when she was a puppy, she chewed on one thing. It was the first and last thing. My husband, he used to be a big World of Warcraft freak.
Ooh.
God, I would wake up in the middle of the night hearing him play that shit. It almost caused a divorce. It was awful. But he bought the $100 World of Warcraft mouse that had all the extra little buttons and everything. And I came home from work, and my dog had eaten that fucking mouse, the cord. I brought it to my dad. I was like, Dad, you got to fix this. The dog's going to be killed. He was able to fix it. It was all like electrical tape and everything, but it worked. It worked. But yeah, that was the only thing she ever ate.
Jeez, it would be terrifying if I came home to chewed up cable or something.
Yeah. You work too hard for all that stuff, and then for a dog to go and screw
Though I do make sense. I do not leave anything out, too. That's also... Yeah. I don't want to risk it, either.
No. Where do you work? You've mentioned a couple times that you work.
Yeah, I mean, I was at... This is like office work, mainly. I was at, like, a car dealership for a very long time.
Did you sell cars?
No. I was just answering the phones and stuff, and it sucked.
Yeah.
It was not a good job at all. So thankfully, I just got rid of that. Just like in an office, it's just... Yeah. You know, it's work. Yeah. Is what it is. Yeah. It's not the best, but, you know, at least my schedule is good enough that, like, I can bounce straight from there and, like, go to a show or something. Yeah. So usually it's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard being a musician and having a full-time job, and, you know, it's like my daughter, she just wants to focus on her music, and I'm like, but you gotta make money too. I told her, I said, go get your real estate license, and I'll just toss you like 2 leads a year, like good ones, and you can just go sell those 2 houses and put the money in the bank. But she won't do that.
Yeah. Yeah, because then it's like, I don't know, I've always really fixated on wanting to be independent too, regardless. So it's like, I've been working since I was out of high school, basically. Even in high school, I had a few jobs. But yeah, it's just like, I mean, it's good for me to be able to be like, all right, I'm going to buy some gear.
Exactly.
And my mom's like, what money? I'm like, with the money that I have, because I paid the bills, so I can buy my gear.
Exactly.
I got my stuff saved up. I can buy my gear. Everyone's happy.
It's true.
Yeah,
it's true.
And if I ever need to, I can sell some stuff too.
Yeah.
The cycle there's always a cycle with gear.
Exactly. Yeah. So, all right. So we're gonna do rapid fire.
Great.
See if you can actually do it. No one else can.
Let's see.
No one does it right.
All right.
Money or happiness?
Happiness. Yeah.
Can you freestyle rap?
Only if I'm severely intoxicated.
Okay. So no, but you think you can.
Sometimes it works when I'm up there, but usually not.
Okay. Would you date a fan?
No.
You're the only person that said that. Everybody else says immediately yes.
No. I could never. Yeah, that would be terrifying. It would be too weird.
Yeah. Okay. Do you sleep with stuffed animals?
Yes.
Okay. You're doing good. What is one of your nicknames?
Besides Josh, some people call me Joshy, which is kind of annoying. My Instagram handle, my personal is Young Yeshua, so a lot of people call me that in real life, which is kind of weird. I don't like it. It's just a joke.
Okay. What is your rainy day activity?
Making sure I don't get a migraine.
Oh, you get it from the pressure?
I get tension headaches.
Yeah.
They suck. So usually, if I can help it, being inside on a rainy day,
right.
I'm just chilling.
Yeah. I broke my tailbone a long time ago, and still to this day, when there's going to be a bag storm, I feel it in my lower back.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
I'll be sitting at work, and if I see clouds, then I'll start. And I'm like, oh god, I'm gonna Excedrin.
Okay, so what is your hidden talent?
Hidden talent? I like to do voices. I do a lot of voices. Okay. I don't do any. I not even like in a good way, but a lot of people will hear me when I do voices, and they're like, "Why don't you do voices?" I'm like, I don't actually think that would be a viable career. Who knows?
Who do you think you do best? What type of voice?
I like to do my Kermit voice a lot.
Okay.
My Kermit the Frog voice.
Oh my god, that's awesome!
I'll be at work and I'll be like, "Hi-oh, Kermit the Frog here."
Oh my god, that's awesome!
My little Kermit. I do some voices. Like you do drama for so long, and it's like you always just fall into a lot of the voices a lot. So it's fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you believe in soulmates?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Right.
Who knows? I can't really say. Sometimes I feel really connected to everything about the universe, and sometimes I don't at all.
Right.
So it depends on the day, maybe.
Right. Okay. All right. Who is the most overrated musician?
The most overrated musician? Ooh, I'm gonna get some people mad with this one. I hate Anthony Kiedis. I cannot stand.
I may have to come back.
I cannot. I love.
I really felt it right here.
Yeah. A lot of people feel it when I say that.
Oh my god!
And I love everyone else in Red Hot Chili Peppers. I can't stand listening to their music though.
Really?
I can't. Anytime I hear Anthony Kiedis come in on the song, I can't do it. And I love Flea. I love John Frusciante. Who's the drummer? Chad Smith? Is that his name?
It's funny. Your generation knows everybody's names. My generation, I'm like, the guy with blonde hair. It's like I have, but I know.
I think it's because every band at this, I feel like something that every band that I listen to, I'll instantly go to their Wikipedia.
Right.
And then I'll look at all the members, and then I just internalize it. Mm-hmm. But I love them. I love a lot of the work that they've done aside from Red Hot Chili Peppers. I had one friend that was obsessed with Red Hot Chili Peppers. And I just couldn't. Granted, that friend also loved John Mayer. And John Mayer, at first I was like, but recently, as the years have gone, I've been like, all right, I like
No, that's mine and my daughter's. One of our biggest arguments is
John Mayer.
I just am like, she loves him. And I'm like, oh, God.
Yeah, he's tricky, because a lot of his stuff, I'm like, yeah.
He's just so unlike, just when you think you figured him out, you're like, what? It's... Yeah, I really don't. It's almost not real.
Yeah.
I don't know. And he's so vain.
Yeah.
I can't.
Very vain.
I just can't.
Very vain.
You kind of look like him, though. Did people tell you that? Now that you've mentioned it.
I never got John Mayer. When I was in... who did I used to get? I used to shave the sides of my head when I was younger and have, the floppy top, Brendan Urie. People used to say that. But I don't do that anymore because I looked really dumb. It looked really silly. Looked awful. But yeah, that... Ooh, I don't want to get controversial on the tape.
Okay. Yep.
I don't know who else. Okay. Maybe it's because I haven't given them a proper chance either.
Okay.
But I'm not very fond of Guns N' Roses.
Oh, you're the second person that said that.
I'm not very fond of. I can't really.
Yeah.
Slash is he's cool, I guess. But
I think they had some good music.
Yeah.
But I can understand you saying that.
And don't get me, but I love a lot of corny shit though. Mm-hmm. I love so much corny, borderline awful music. Mm-hmm. But like some stuff like that, I'm just like I can't do it.
Right.
I don't know. It's
Yeah. Well, we'll have to talk about that.
Got testy.
I just, man.
Yeah. I mean, and then a lot of people could say the same about the Pumpkins, though.
Yeah, they could.
People say Billy Corgan comes on the song. I hate it, but for me, it works. I don't know.
God, it was back in high school. It was the Chili Peppers, Smashing Pumpkins, and Pearl Jam for me. Mm-hmm. And then, as I was exiting high school, I was a big Jared Leto fan, die hard, and so I still I'm obsessed with him still at 46. So I still have to like him, but the ones that I still love. Chili Peppers, Smashing Pumpkins, and Pearl Jam. So they just never left.
I need to get into more Pearl Jam personally.
Oh God!
Because all I hear is people doing the impersonation. Even though that's all I hear. Whenever I hear the songs, I'm like, I need to break out of that and just listen to the songs for what they are. Just sit down.
Right. You got to start with him when he was with Temple of the Dog. Yeah,
that I've heard. I've heard Temple of the Dog stuff, and that's cool.
Yeah.
But I just need to break out of that because, a lot of it's hard with some classic rock stuff I can listen to for what it is and put myself in that world, or classic rock.
Right.
It's just third. Yeah. But stuff older than me, you have to. Sometimes I feel like I have to take myself out of this life and put myself in there a second.
Yeah, because it's so different now.
Yeah, you have to contextualize music.
Yeah,
I can't take it for what it is in today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see here. Okay, what is your favorite animal other than an elephant? I guess you've already said that, right?
Yeah, elephants. They're definitely up there. I don't know. I mean, I really I'm definitely a dog person more than cats. I'm also allergic to cats.
I am too.
Yeah. And it sucks because I love cats.
Yeah. I like the Persian cats.
Yeah.
Those are so cute.
It's just damn, I can't. If I know I'm going to a cat house, I need to Zyrtec up before I head out.
Yeah.
It's always tricky.
It's funny because my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law, they have, I think, 4 cats. And I go there, I'm perfectly fine, but they're all long hair. So I was told they have a different dander, the long hair and the short hair. So maybe I'm just allergic to short-haired cats.
It is possible. Yeah, I've never made the distinction. All I know is sometimes when I buy cats, I just feel myself, my throat closing. I start to kind of puff up. If I scratch my face, I'll get irritated, and I'll be like, oh, God.
Yeah, no. All right, so what is a good spy code name for you?
Spy code name? I have no clue. You'd call me. This is Cthulhu, so you could call me Cthulhu. Okay. No, I guess it's not really much of a spy. If it's on my shirt, it would probably be a dead giveaway if I was an actual spy.
Or would it? That would be too easy.
That'd be too easy.
Yes.
That's how it is.
Oh God. Okay, so the last rapid fire. If you could travel to the world for free, where would you go first?
Probably to Peru. Because that's where I'm from, and I still have never been.
Are you? So my nephew has invited my daughter and the other girls, the nieces, they're all super close. They want to go backpacking through Peru. Mm-hmm. And I didn't even know that was something. Apparently, it's beautiful backpacking, so they're all planning on backpacking. Yeah,
it's all the mountains and stuff. Yeah. I mean, if they go with the right guide, as long as it's with a guide, I would say. Because Peru can be kind of, in the cities, it can be kind of rough from what I understand. But, the touristy, the mountains and stuff. Yeah, I just haven't been. Every opportunity I've had to go on, I've always had something to do.
Right.
I'm really hoping I can finally go this year because my mom was freaking begging me. She's like, Josh, can you just go? And
I wish my mom would beg me to just go to Peru. Yeah. Please.
She's
When's the last time you were there?
I've never. I've never.
Oh,
been.
you've
That's
never
why.
been.
That's why. And my whole family, both of my parents are Peruvian.
Right.
I was born here.
Right.
My mom just started going back and forth when we graduated because she finally was like, okay, you guys will be fine.
Yeah.
She hadn't been for like 20, 25 years.
Right.
So that has been big for her. But I mean, she'll play. Like I love everything about. Like I like listening to a lot of like Peruvian, like because like there's folk music, you know, it's like literally like thousands of years of civilization in the Andes. You know, listening to that and reading about it, and then you just feel like, you know, you can't really just explain it, but it's like you feel that sort of tug. Yeah. So I know I really need to go there. It'll probably be a lot for me to go psychologically or like mentally to process being in that space, but you know, I need to. So that would probably be the first place.
That would be awesome. Yeah. Okay.
That'd be the first spot for sure.
All right. So, as far you mentioned that you guys have some gigs coming up.
Yes, right now. So March 11th, we're playing at the Corner Bar Warehouse, aka the Hot Box, I suppose is what it's called. That's with, who is it? I think it's with Floridian and Bravi and Telecon. I think one more band. I'm not sure if we confirmed it yet. Okay. And then, we're I don't know when we're going on that night, but it's March 11th. And then March 26th, we're playing at the Youth Fair, which is going to be fun.
Oh, that's going to be a lot of fun,
I mean, Backroom's been wanting us to do it for ages now, and I've always been like, nah, I don't really want to. Right. But now it's just like, we don't really have anything going on. Like, let's give it a shot.
It'll be fun. Yeah.
So we play that night. I know we play at 9. They gave us like an actual
that's a good slot.
Yeah, it's cool. It's so weird for me to play early because like we're so used to playing at like 11, 12. Yeah, 11 or 12. So it'll be nice to play at 9. And that's like obviously like a very all ages. Yeah. Like they made us sign a thing that's like, don't curse.
Oh, really?
I was like, okay, I won't. He said, you're not allowed to curse because there's kids. Yeah, there's children, families, old people.
I should probably abide by that.
Yeah.
I owe my kid so much money for cursing. She charges me a quarter every time I say a curse word. I think I'm like at 207 quarters now. Yeah,
my mom gets on me about it too. So they were like strictly no cursing and no ingesting, you know, the toxic substances on stage of intoxicating, whatever. You could basically like no drugs, no anything. And I was like, yeah, we know, like we're not doing any of that, but you have to sign a thing.
Right.
But yeah, so 311 and then 326. And I think we have a gig in April, but I'm waiting for them to figure all that out.
But you'll put it all on your Instagram.
It's all on Instagram. It's all, I need to take a photo of us this week because that's how the algorithm works. I need to have a photo of all of our cute faces. Yep. And then you swipe and then, okay, there's the poster. You know, that's what gets the people clicking. But yeah, that's going to be all on Instagram for sure.
And what's your Instagram? Is at Creature Cage or?
It's the Creature Cage.
The Creature Cage.
The Creature Cage. Yeah.
Okay, and I have one of your shirts.
Yeah.
You can go get your merch. Can they order it on Instagram? Do you have a site where?
These shirts are all gone.
Oh,
you got like one of the last.
I got lucky,
ones.
but I'm sure they have more merch.
Yeah,
buy merch.
Yeah, we have a bunch. So we made a bunch of tapes for this album, and we were going to start selling them last month when we started playing again, and then we just didn't. Right. We had a bunch of shows lined up, and then the whole Omicron stuff, like we're like, I don't want to risk it,
right?
Because I got COVID too.
I got it twice. I got the Delta and the Omicron.
Yeah, I got COVID over Christmas break, and it was just a whole thing. Yeah. I was like, oh, this sucks. Yeah, it was not fun. Yeah. So I literally have an entire box of tapes that I made with Sesha, who she's also running Power Clash Records. So we're putting that on her label. That's the first drop. And I just need to sell all these tapes.
Right.
So if you want a tape, I mean, you could, if someone wanted to, I don't have them on Bandcamp, but if you DM'd me and said, I want a tape, I will just cash at me and I'll send you one. You know? Like, okay, it's not a big deal.
I mean, it's not a lot of money, so everybody has to do that. Yeah. You know, I interviewed this guy, Don't Bite Your Tongue, out of New Jersey. And he literally he's on a tour right now, just a CD tour, selling CDs, state to state.
That's so sick. For me, those CDs, I liked CDs. We did CDs of our first record. But I don't know. Like, not a lot of people have CDs, and tapes at least have, like, the nostalgia factor. And vinyl is just so expensive to make.
It is.
It's like $2,000, $3,000 to press something, and then you're stuck with an entire box of records. Yeah. That was one thing, you know, to circle back, that's one thing of advice that the guys in Loudness War gave me. They said, we were talking about the record. They had a record that came out. It was fantastic. And one of my favorite songs on there by The Brain. That's such a good song. But they told me I would never press another one of our records by ourselves again. We wouldn't do it without a label.
Really?
Even like just the tiniest label to help subsidize it.
Right.
It's just so much.
Right.
And to haul the whole box of records and,
yeah.
you know, it's like, if you don't have, it's just a lot. You know,
yeah.
There's no, right now the industry's set up in such a way, especially because the plants are so backed up. It's like, why would you even put yourself, just make some tapes. And if a label takes interest in you, it's like, hey, we'll make you label.
Right.
You know, if they're taking a percentage, who cares? At least you got the vinyl
yeah.
out there. You know, that looks official enough to me.
Yeah.
You know? So, I mean, yeah, it's one thing to be looking for like a major label and then just signing with a DIY label that at least press your stuff. I mean,
yeah.
that's sick, you know. So who cares?
That's true.
Yeah, so that is one piece of advice actually that I took to heart, and I was like, maybe we should just do the tapes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but it's a good piece of advice to pass along too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
finances.
Yes. And that's why it's so important to buy their merch.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that we don't starve and have to eat just like
exactly.
cans of tuna every night.
Yeah. Well, the price of tuna I think has gone up too. So
yeah. It's tricky out there.
Yeah.
Tricky.
So okay. So did you want to let anybody know anything else or?
I don't know. We're putting out a new record this year. If you come to our shows, we're probably going to be testing out a bunch of new stuff as opposed to songs off of our last record and a couple other things. So it's going to be fun. I'm excited. We haven't played yet since Rev, so I'm like really, I've been itching. Like this whole past month, I've been like, man, we really need to set up some shows. Like,
yeah.
It's just starting to get on my nerves. I'm like, I need to play something.
Yeah.
So I'm ready to go.
That's good. Okay. Well, thank you so much. I enjoyed getting to know you and talking with you and everything. And everybody go buy the merch.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm so happy I got this shirt.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.